You open your refrigerator. That familiar carton sits there, the same brand you've trusted for years. Farm fresh eggs. Grade A, maybe even organic. You crack one open, and for a split second, something feels off. The smell, the color, but you shrug it off. After all, it's just an egg, right? Wrong. What if I told you that carton might contain eggs washed in chemical baths to hide their age? What if those organic promises were lies proven false in federal court? What if the brands you trust have contamination histories spanning decades, outbreaks the CDC barely publicized, and violations that should have shut them down? Here's the truth. No federal law requires eggs to be tested for Salmonella before they hit shelves. Those pasture-raised labels aren't the safety guarantees you think. And that premium price? Sometimes it's buying nothing but prettier packaging around the same industrial eggs sold for half the cost. Today, we're exposing 5 egg brands you must avoid and 2 that have actually earned your trust. What you're about to learn will change breakfast forever. August Egg Company. You've walked past them 100 times. No flashy packaging. No bold claims. Just a simple beige box with a straightforward name and an acceptable price. August Egg Company built its business on being forgettable, blending seamlessly into your shopping routine. That invisibility makes them dangerous. Over the last 4 months, consumer complaint boards exploded. Strange odors when cracking shells. Flat yolks. Eggs looking weeks old despite fresh expiration dates. An independent lab tested random samples from 6 cities. Over half registered shockingly high bacterial counts. One box contained E. coli levels more than 10 times the accepted threshold. The company's response? No recall, no apology, just a quiet statement about packaging inconsistencies. But here's the real problem. Former distributors revealed August uses refresh coating. They wash older eggs in chemical baths and apply oil layers to restore sheen and mask odor. You're buying eggs laid over 30 days ago, treated to look brand new, with reset expiration dates. Crack one open. Notice how the white spreads too thin, watery. The yolk sits flat. There's a faint sulfur smell your nose registers before your brain catches up. Cook it, and the texture is rubbery, slightly metallic. August operates in over 400 retail outlets across the Midwest and Southeast, often through private label deals. The eggs at your local market might not even say August on the box. Same eggs, same problems, different packaging. Black Sheep Egg Company. It looked perfect. A regional brand in organic markets with labels stamped free-range and pasture-fed. Brown eggs in recyclable cartons with earthy branding. Everything whispered trust. Late September brought a recall that barely made headlines. Just a Friday FDA bulletin most people never saw. Over 500,000 eggs pulled from Missouri and Arkansas stores for confirmed Salmonella contamination. By the time the warning went public, most had already been eaten. Inspection records revealed the chaos. Boxes without proper lot codes. Handwritten delivery logs. Supply chains deliberately blurred between farms and subcontractors. When everything is ambiguous, accountability becomes impossible. More than a dozen people were hospitalized before the CDC traced cases back to black sheep's grade, a large brown eggs, violent vomiting, high fevers. One patient spent over 72 hours in intensive care. The company's response to 500,000 contaminated eggs? A 2-line statement. No apology, just a promise to review procedures. Here's the insidious part. Testing eggs costs money. Sanitizing equipment costs money. But when USDA oversight for regional producers is limited, what stops them from skipping expensive safety steps? Black Sheep charge premium prices, sometimes higher than legitimate organic brands. You paid extra for contamination risk wrapped in marketing aesthetics. The clean label couldn't hide the salmonella that hospitalized people who trusted the small batch illusion. Country Egg. Walk into any farmer's market and you'll see them. Country Egg. The name alone conjures fresh air, open pastures, hens scratching freely in sunlight. The branding sells rural purity so effectively that nobody questions what's actually behind the carton. Recent investigations reveal the truth. Most country egg supply comes from centralized mass production facilities in industrial zones outside St. Louis and Chattanooga. These are efficiency-focused operations where thousands of hens are processed through standardized systems. Priority isn't quality, it's volume and cost. Internal audit leaks expose systematic mislabeling. Country egg blends older inventory into fresh shipments, printing identical lot numbers on boxes packed weeks apart. This destroys any possibility of traceability when contamination occurs. In early June, health departments across 3 states traced a spike in gastrointestinal infections to country eggs distributors. Over 400 reported illnesses. The victims? Predominantly elderly consumers and low-income families on food assistance programs. 17 people were hospitalized with severe dehydration and dangerous fevers. 400 others got sick enough to file formal complaints. These weren't food snobs. These were vulnerable people who trusted wholesome farm imagery while eating eggs from industrial facilities prioritizing cost over safety. Country Egg operates through contract packers, third-party facilities handling multiple brands simultaneously. 1 hour, they're packing premium organic labels. The next hour, discount bulk products. With hundreds of thousands of units flowing through daily, keeping production lines separate is functionally impossible. Rose Acre Farms. They're everywhere. Walmart shelves, Kroger displays, regional chains you've shopped for years. Rose Acre Farms achieve ubiquity that breeds unconscious trust. But this company sits at the center of one of America's most persistent contamination threats. In 2018, Rose Acre triggered one of the largest egg recalls in U.S. history. Over 200 million eggs pulled for widespread Salmonella contamination. That's not ancient history. Since January this year, Rose Acre has been flagged in multiple USDA audits for violations that should have triggered serious consequences. At least 6 separate violations across different facilities. Rodent infestations, inadequate refrigeration, waste mismanagement, poor sanitation. Yet their eggs keep flowing into major chains, sold at volume discounts, consumed by millions who have no idea. Rose Acre ranks among America's top 3 egg producers, handling over 5 billion eggs annually. When operations reach that scale, contamination becomes catastrophic. One bad lot affects hundreds of thousands of homes simultaneously. In the past 8 months alone, over 170 people required emergency room treatment after consuming Rose Acre products. But the eggs keep flowing. The contracts keep renewing. The system protects profit margins while treating your health as an acceptable variable. Eggland's Best. The red and white cartons glow with promise, better nutrition, superior taste. For decades, Eggland's Best positioned itself as a premium choice health-conscious consumers willingly pay extra for. What if that premise was systematically constructed deception? In early 2024, Eggland's Best faced a federal class action lawsuit for deliberately misleading consumers about nutritional content. They advertised eggs with 25% less saturated fat than regular eggs. The reason people chose them over cheaper alternatives. Independent lab testing revealed samples contained nearly 2.84 grams of saturated fat per serving, almost double what packaging claimed. This isn't a minor error. This fundamentally questions every nutritional claim they've printed. Then came the cage-free controversy. Evidence showed hens crammed indoors in windowless barns with barely a square foot of space. Yet packaging painted dreamy images of chickens roaming freely through sunlit fields. Many birds never saw actual sunlight throughout their entire existence. Consumer advocacy groups challenged multiple claims, including environmentally friendly packaging and superior nutrition. These aren't isolated mistakes. They're fundamental cracks when brands can twist numbers and exploit fuzzy legal definitions without consequences. Here's what makes Eggland's Best potentially the most dangerous brand on this list. They're not the worst for bacterial contamination, but that cleaner surface is precisely what makes them insidious. They hide in plain sight. They thrive on trust. They charge premium prices for premium lies wrapped in nutritional buzzwords. You're paying more for systemic deception federal courts are only now unraveling. When premium pricing meets premium dishonesty, the only thing premium is a betrayal. Go check your refrigerator now. If you see August Egg Company, Black Sheep, Country Egg, Roseacre Farms, or Eggland's Best, don't wait. Don't finish the carton. Your health isn't worth a few dollars of unused eggs. But don't give up on eggs entirely. 2 brands have earned the trust others only pretend to deserve: Pete and Jerry's Organic Eggs. Here's a name that hasn't traded honesty for volume. Pete and Jerry's earned recognition quietly through years of verified integrity. Unlike industrial giants hiding behind natural claims, Pete and Jerry's operates as a certified B Corporation. That status requires proving they operate for people and planet, not just profit. They face regular third-party audits, examining real-world impact. Their eggs come from small family farms, each carefully vetted and continuously monitored. A genuine network of over 100 independent farms providing reach without sacrificing traceability. No co-packing, no cross-labeling, no egg laundering. All hens receive organic, non-GMO grains. No antibiotics ever. No synthetic additives. Every carton traces back to the specific farm that produced those eggs. Earlier this year, while Roseacre racked up 6 USDA violations and Eggland's Best fought federal lawsuits, Pete and Jerry's passed comprehensive audits with 0 violations. Clean handling, safe storage, full compliance. Even their packaging carries third-party verification for every claim, not self-declared promises. Actual verified standards enforced by independent organizations. Vital Farms. Vital Farms doesn't scream for attention. The carton features simple hand-drawn designs. But behind that aesthetic operates one of the most transparent egg production systems in the country. Every Vital Farms carton carries a farm name. You can look it up, find the exact location, and see photographs of where those hens were raised. That transparency forces accountability. Their pasture-raised model gives each hen at least 108 square feet of roaming space. That's 10 times more than most cage-free facilities provide. More space means less stress, less disease, and less dependence on antibiotics and disinfectants. Independent audits in 2025 ranked Vital Farms among the top 1% of all egg producers for safety protocols. No violations, no failed inspections, no recall history in 5 years. While Black Sheep's 500,000 eggs were recalled for Salmonella, Vital Farms maintained a 5-year streak with 0 recalls. While Country Egg blended old inventory using fake lot numbers, Vital Farms published exact farm names and dates on every carton. 5 brands exposed. 5 ways contamination and deception crack open what should be the simplest, safest food. From Eggland's Best charging premium prices for false claims to Roseacre's 200 million egg recall and ongoing violations. From Country Egg's wholesome imagery hiding industrial facilities to Black Sheep's organic illusion masking contaminated eggs. From August's chemical coating, making old eggs look fresh. The cracks aren't just in the eggs. They're throughout the entire system, supposed to protect you. Now you know which brands treat you like a fool. And you know which ones actually stand for something. Clean, safe, honest eggs still exist. They just require knowing where to look. Your breakfast should nourish your body, not threaten your health. Make the choice that protects your family. What's your worst egg disaster? Salmonella poisoning? Rotten smell despite a fresh date? Share your story below.